Welcome back, trainers. So, Team Go Rocket has returned into Pokemon Go. So you're now going to be able to find those kind of darker Pokestops, and when you spin them, Team Rocket will appear, in which you will be able to battle them. But apparently this time around, they're going to be a little bit more difficult. I personally haven't gone out and done any yet because I was up very late. Of course, the night I was up late studying for something that I'm going to be announcing in a couple of days, and I'm telling you guys, this is going to be some massive news here, so I'm very excited for that. Look forward to that. Can't wait. So yeah, I was up late, and of course they re-announced it, but this time around they revamped the whole thing, which makes me believe that the initial release was either to create some sort of buzz, or it was not intended to be released quite yet. Now there's something else associated with the first release of the Shadow Pokemon, and that is going to be regarding trading. So we did go over a video, and we're also going to be going over all of these special tasks for the Team Rocket Go deal. But before, when the Shadow Pokemon were released, if you were able to actually trade them off, you were going to be able to get those lucky. If you were lucky enough to do that, if you had a lucky friendship trade. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few images on Twitter. All right, so I asked this question last night. Does anybody have a screenshot of a lucky Shadow Pokemon or a possible purified lucky? Now, oh boy, if you did trade one of your Shadow Pokemon, say when they were first released, and you got lucky, well, guess what? You have a legacy lucky Shadow Pokemon, and I would say don't purify it because you can't trade them anymore. You cannot trade mythicals other than Meltan, and you cannot trade Shadow Pokemon anymore. Just simple as that. You can trade the purified version, but you cannot trade the Shadow. So we previously went over a little trick that we discussed here on the channel, and that was to trade a Shadow Pokemon with possibly another Shadow Pokemon that your friend had, and you guys had a lucky trade in the works. Now, if you did make this lucky guaranteed trade, or if you were just trading them and they just became lucky by chance, the IVs on the floor for those are going to be 12 all around. Now, when you do purify Pokemon, they will gain 2 IVs for every single stat. So if you were potentially getting a 13 all around IV Pokemon and it was Shadow, if you did purify it, it would become a 100% IV Pokemon after you did purify that. So that trick is no longer in the game. You cannot do that anymore. So that is very unfortunate. So for the people who are able to actually trade when this first came out and you got a lucky Shadow Pokemon, I urge you to not purify it. You can do what you want, but if I personally had one of these, I wouldn't do so because it is going to be legacy and you cannot do that anymore. And it's going to be something extremely rare. It's going to be tempting to say purified if you have a 13-13-13, because you're going to gain those 2 IVs and making it a 100% purified Pokemon, in which that's not a horrible idea, but you're still holding on to something nobody can obtain anymore. So you may want to hold on to that lucky Shadow Pokemon, especially if you're this guy right here who's got a 100% Shadow Pokemon, which is quite amazing. Yes, you cannot TM that move Frustration, unfortunately, therefore making it not so valuable in PvP. But it is still going to be something to hold on to and a bit of a treasure for anything, just kind of memorabilia, because, well, nobody can obtain this anymore. So there is that bit of information because, wow, I really wish I did that lucky trade the day one. I really do. All right, now let's go ahead and go over how to encounter these. This is going to be a very nice image made by LeakDuck, in which I will be leaving a link to their Twitter in the description, so you can go and check them out and give them a follow yourself here. So basically what you're going to do is just go out there, look for Pokestops that are kind of darker in color and frantically moving around, as they usually do not. Basically go and spin it, and Team Rocket should pop out on the side. After that, you tap on it, and or if you did spin the Pokestop without letting your Gotcha or Go Plus spin it, then you'll be able to simply encounter Team Rocket. After that, you're going to battle them, and which... good luck, because apparently they're a lot more difficult than before. I've yet to test this out, so I'm going to be going out there and finding a whole lot of these Pokemon Team Rocket stops and seeing what it's all about now, because I did battle them before and they were somewhat difficult, not too much. They did have higher CP than usual for that specific league, unless it was the Master League. Then I think they would actually be above even what the normal CP is for those Pokemon. So can't wait to test that out. After you've defeated Team Rocket, you will be prompted with a little message by them, and then you will go into the Shadow Pokemon catch screen, in which you're not going to have that many Premier Balls until you do bring up your badges. As you can see in this image here, for the Purified, to get to that Bronze is going to be 5, for that Silver it's going to be 50, and for that Gold it's going to be 100, and you've seen the other ones for the Team Rocket, it's going to be a lot more for those. So this is quite amazing, guys, and they did leave out a little bit of details here, and that is going to be when you do Purify it, they will gain 2 IVs for every stat, so take note of that. Make sure you check your IVs and purify them as according. Alright, so now we do have some special research revolving around Team Go Rocket, in which I'm going to still call them Team Rocket, simple as that. This is making me believe that the initial release was an accident, or like I said in the beginning, possibly just to hype it up. Maybe they weren't supposed to actually release it yet because people were able to trade them, but now you cannot do that. And now we also have special research tasks revolving around the Team Rocket. So maybe there was supposed to be a bigger release like this and not the way they initially bring them out. So for the special research tasks, the first set is going to be evolve 2 Pokemon for a Murkrow, which I suppose has the potential to be shiny and with good IVs too. And the next one is going to be power up a Pokemon 5 times for a Sableye, in which that can also possibly potentially be shiny. So take note of that. And also, as we go through these, don't get too hyped because they're not that great. I mean, personally, I like them, but reading the comments on Twitter and other places, people are really not that impressed with this. So then you get 1000 Stardust as well as 2000 XP. Moving on to the next one here, we have catch 2 Shadow Pokemon for an Ekans, oh boy, and then defeat 3 Team Go Rocket Grunts for a Coughing. So that is the theme, Jesse and James, Coughing and Ekans, so get that one. All right, and then the reward is going to be 2000 Stardust, 2000 XP, and 5 Golden Raspberries. Fair enough. Moving on to the next one, purify 3 Shadow Pokemon for 3000 XP, which is going to cost you Stardust, and then purify a Fire, Water, and Grass type Pokemon, which is obviously going to be Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. So, yeah. And then the final one is going to automatically be completed, and that is going to be 1000 Stardust times 2, 1000 XP, 1 Charge TM, 1 Fast TM. I can get behind that. Thank you. I'll take that for free. And then 3 rare candies as the reward. Alright trainers, so I was given intel as to where there's going to be some shadow stops in my area, and I went out to investigate, and I found 3 of them. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how much more difficult they are than before. And I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, they're a little bit hard, considering if it throws you with the Great League, and you're going to have to pick those Pokemon under 1500, you're going to be going up against 3000 CP Pokemon and higher. So those are going to be doing quite a bit of damage. Just go ahead and take a look here. Jumping into the first one, starting it off with Jirachi. Alright, I do have Confusion and Doom Desire. And that Rattata is putting on work. And it does, I think it has Quick Move. So it's still doing quite a bit of damage. And did you see that massive CP it did have? Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this CP on this one. It's 6,000 plus. Okay, 6,000 plus. And I'm using a 1,500 CP Pokemon here. So make sure you pick a very diverse team that can take on at least water, grass, and fire. I don't know, whatever you have to do there. But I did run into some trouble come these second pair of stops, and it wouldn't let me attack after I switched. Therefore, I had to back out and then restart. So if you're wondering, okay, well, what happens if I lose? Well, that's fine. You could just simply go back in there and you should be good to go. Nothing will change. Now we're going to also go over the bonuses, because I am able to get my bronze badge, and that is going to increase the number of Premier Balls that I do get when I do go into that catch screen. As well as if you have more Pokemon surviving at the end, you will also be getting a bonus for that as well. So take note, you may want to go in there with your best Pokemon that you can possibly pick to go up against water, fire, and grass type Pokemon. Now, they do not use their shields. If they did, this is going to be a lot harder than it is currently. So thank goodness they don't. That Blastoise I was barely able to take it out with that Altaria there. So let's go ahead and move on here, guys. This is fun. I'm happy they're difficult, and I hope they get even harder. And could you imagine a legendary, how difficult that is going to actually be? Wow. So I didn't get any bonuses there. I will be getting into my next screen here, but we're going to go ahead and catch this Rattata. And unfortunately, I did not go. I'm throwing the Premier Balls, and it just keeps hitting him away, almost letting it run away. So unfortunately, I did not complete any of the special field research tasks before I did do this. So getting that catch period in which that's what you had to complete for those tasks is not done yet, but I'll complete those later. It's very easy. You can get it done in like 5 minutes if you just finish that first step and then go and catch these shadow Pokemon and then purify them. On to the next one, we have another Grunt, and we're going to go ahead and go with Skarmory. I think I do switch up my team here. I wanted to go in there with something that can destroy grass types as well as fire. And then the Deoxys, let's see, I do believe I pick a grass type to take out those waters. Or sorry, to take out, no, I don't go with, oh yeah, there we go. All right, so let's see what we have going on for this one. So starting off with Skarmory Bulbasaur, let's see how much work it's going to be putting on to me. So the CP on the Bulbasaur is going to be 4,000 plus, and my Skarmory is 1,400. All right, so that's quite a significant difference. So can you see why you have to choose your Pokemon wisely now? Before they did say phrases, kind of hinting as to what type of Pokemon they were going to be using, so I would assume you can prepare your team accordingly. Disregard the horrible swiping to get those flying icons. I was talking to somebody, but I didn't notice any of that this time around, so we'll see what happens here. Going to go ahead and continue on with my Skarmory on these grass-type Pokemon, so I did make the correct choice here. Missed an icon, unfortunately, and 2 icons. Yikes. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and just take this Venusaur out. So this is going to be a Bulbasaur. This is my first one, so we're looking good there. I'll be able to complete the special field research now. Yeah, I lost. All right, anyways, now let's go ahead and go on to the next one here. And it seems like they're increasing at a nice rate here, so they're not going to be so elusive, these stops. And I got 6 balls there because I did have quite a few Pokemon, as well as that bronze badge for the catching Pokemon, or the shadow Pokemon, or at least completing the Team Rocket tasks. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one here. Made a nice diverse team, I suppose. Well, not really. So this is the one where it wouldn't let me attack, and I pretty much saw what the team was, so I just went in there with grass. And even with Roserade with Razor Leaf, going up against that Squirtle, that still took me out. That's pretty insane. So we're going to go ahead and go in here with Sceptile. Couldn't attack for a few seconds. Going to go ahead and use that shield. Because yes, Aqua Tail, but it is a massive CP Pokemon. I do not want this thing to die quite yet. In comes the War Turtle. Let's go ahead and go for that Frenzy Plant, of course. And the CP on that, 6,000 plus. Pretty insane. I was trying to finish it off with quick moves, but this is not your typical PvP match. So don't hoard that energy. Alright, so in comes the Swampert. So we're looking great. It's going to be 4 times weak to grass. We don't have anything to worry about at this point. As long as we have 1 shield, maybe, because it might have gone off a charge, but down it goes. And simple as that. And so my conclusion is, are they more difficult? Yes, they are. Thank goodness, because it should be that way. They have shadow Pokemon. They should be difficult to beat. They should be, you know, Team Rocket. And here, I almost let the Squirtle run. As you can see, I'm just frantically throwing like a fool, talking, and then I finally get that last great throw. So good luck out there, trainers, and if you enjoyed this video, like usual, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends so we can get the word around. Now, there's one more thing here, really quick. At the end of the Team Rocket trailer, we had this. What could this possibly mean? Who knows?